Hello and welcome to the Fuzzy Loaf podcast, where two dinglings talk about what's going on in nerd and pop culture. I'm Scott. That's
Matt.
Yes, nailed it. Ooh, it's going to be a good show today. Just had some Raisin Canes. I'm in a good mood. I'm not going to be all like cranky because I haven't eaten yet today.
Yeah.
We got some good topics to talk about in depth. I think we're going to have some good discussion.
Yes, we will.
And a little surprise, I'm going to bring back an old segment that we've only done once before.
Okay.
You don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
But that'll be at the end.
Okay.
Anyway, Matt, what did you want to talk about first of our three big things going
Let's
on?
talk about DC's Rebirth #1. Because
Okay.
you and I have different opinions on this, but I don't think they're polar opposites.
No,
But
they're pretty similar.
yeah.
They'd probably be like on the same half of the spectrum.
Yes.
But one's a little further one way than the other.
Exactly. Okay,
So do you want to go first, or do you want to talk about plot points or whatever?
Let's there's going to be mild spoilers for DC Rebirth.
Should have brought the issue down here.
Yeah. Well, I forget you bought the physical.
I have it on digital and physical, yeah.
So if you don't know DC's Rebirth, it's this new thing they're launching this year.
It's like a course correction.
Yeah.
It's like what they're doing for the comics, like what they're supposedly doing for the movies.
Yep. And this first issue is 82 pages long and kind of sets up the whole thing.
Yeah.
It does preface at the beginning, if you haven't read, I think it was Justice League 50.
Which I haven't because I haven't read all of Darkseid War.
I still understood what was going on.
I'm not an idiot. So
you fill in the blanks.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's because... Yeah, because the things that you would learn from Justice League number 50 are like so glossed over in the issue that's not like a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And Superman number 52.
Yeah,
because this is going to be all like everything we're talking about today is entirely spoilers.
Yes.
Rebirth, Captain America, and Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
We're doing all spoilers. So I'm just going to get into it.
But for those of you who have not read DC's Rebirth, very quickly before we get into spoilers, get it.
Just go get it.
It's $2.99,
and it's 80-some pages.
You can get it on Comixology. It's a really good experience if you haven't used the app before. You can use it on your phone.
I read it when I was at work on Wednesday.
Yeah,
because I was like, I'm just gonna read it. We're kind of slow at work, and I was like, I don't want to wait to get off work and then go to the comic book store. I want to read it now so I can talk about it and get hyped. So anyway, back to spoilers.
Yes.
In Superman number 52, the new 52 Superman dies. He's dead. Which is basically like a symbol for the death of the new 52, I would say.
Yeah. I was going to say, they've done this a few times in the history of DC, and every time it's kind of like we're changing course almost entirely for all of our DC comics.
Yeah. Because now we've got the original Superman is back. Pre-New 52 Superman. Superman that I like.
Yeah.
I didn't like New 52 Superman. But anyway, so that happened, and then the other thing from Justice League, which we already knew, so it's not really a spoiler from Justice League number 50, but Jessica Cruz, who was Power Ring, now is an official Green Lantern.
Yeah.
We already knew that was going to happen because of the Rebirth solicitations. So those are the only things that you'd have to fill in the blanks on.
Yeah. Otherwise, so the comic follows Wally West as he's stuck in
the Speed Force.
Yeah, the Speed Force, not the Time Force.
Wow.
Too many video games. There's a game called Ultra Time Force or something.
Okay.
Whatever. Anyways, so he's stuck in the Speed Force and he's trying to
get out.
Yeah, and the only way he can do this is by somebody remembering him.
He's got to connect because the universe has been reset and he doesn't exist in this universe.
Yes. So first he visits Batman, then he visits, then he visits the old guy in the
Johnny Thunder.
Yep.
From the Justice Society,
and then he visits his girlfriend,
Linda Park.
Yep.
Yeah, his who
wife.
was his wife.
Yeah.
They even had kids in the pre-New 52.
And then his last ditch effort is Barry Allen himself.
And Barry remembers him.
Yeah.
Seriously though, when I read that, I've got a little choked up. I was like, he's like, how could I ever forget you, Wally?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, because I love Wally West. Wally West is one of my favorite superheroes. He was the Flash that I knew as a kid, because he was the Flash for 20 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Until Jeff Johns wanted to bring Barry Allen back
back.
because he loves all those Silver Age superheroes. I don't know what it wasn't like super like crazy because this is going to be an ongoing, semi-ongoing. I mean, it's going to be a miniseries. There's going to be more to it than just this issue. But so there wasn't a whole lot that happened. This first issue was a lot of setting things up.
And I think that's why I didn't. Well, I guess we'll get into opinions.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
That's why I didn't enjoy it as much. As this kind of felt like it was just kind of like, yeah, we're changing things. We're changing things. We hear you. We're changing things. And it's
I think the reason I did like it is because I reading it and seeing what it was setting up got me like hyped. I was like, yes, I like where this is going now. Because I was not a fan of the New 52. I read DC Comics before the New 52. And then after, I was one of those people that fell off with a lot of other people. So now
I just felt like this issue, they prefaced a lot of what happened in this issue by talking about, like, we're resetting the universe. This is what DC Rebirth is going to be. And I was hoping that it was going to start and, like, actually
they're not really resetting the universe.
You know what I mean. They're picking and choosing what is staying and what isn't.
Right. They're putting it. They're kind of like putting it back together.
Yeah.
But the biggest reveal in this is that Dr. Manhattan created the New 52, which is like crazy, but kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of deep too, if you think about it. Where the Watchmen, back when they first came out, it was like the Watchmen and the Dark Knight Returns in the 80s kind of set like a new precedent for like darker comics and everything like that. So it's almost like by making like Dr. Manhattan and like the Watchmen kind of like the villain or antagonist, not really, because I don't really look at it that way, but like they're basically saying like this like dark era of comics is the antagonist to this rebirth. You know what I mean? That's kind of what they're laying out. And I guess I saw an article that said Zack Snyder is the real villain in Rebirth. I'm like, well, he did direct Watchmen.
Pretty funny, yeah.
So it's kind of implied a little bit there, but basically what they're saying is that super ultra dark is the villain or the force that they have to fight against.
Yeah.
In the Rebirth. I don't know. I kind of like that. But
we'll see how it works out.
As long as it's not like a we have to fight Dr. Manhattan type thing, and it's more of a like deeper story, then it's like the DC universe versus the Watchmen, because that'd just be dumb.
Oh,
but I don't think
that'd be so bad.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be deeper than that.
I think it's going to be kind of on a metaphorical level where there's going to be maybe pieces of the New 52 still kind of existing and causing problems, and I think it's going to be more that direction than
right. But I did like as we as Wally in the issue, because we're kind of bouncing all over the place. But
yeah, it's hard to like keep it contained. But as Wally's like bouncing, because he's just energy. He's in the Speed Force. He's like bouncing around the DCU, and he's basically saying like pointing out how this new universe or the New 52 universe just isn't right. Everything's a little off. Basically, their light or their hope, has been taken from them, which is what it's implied Dr. Manhattan did when he rebuilt this universe after the Flashpoint. How, like, he sees Black Canary and Green Arrow, and they don't even know each other. And he's like, and they were so in love, and they were together forever, and their bond was so strong. And now they look at each other like strangers, and he just sees that as not right. Yeah. Things
need to be repaired, fixed again. And I liked that, because I was like, yes, that's exactly what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. My favorite part, I think, was, it was part 3, Legacy, where it showed Wally West, the other Wally West, and it showed, I'm going to forget her name, the Power Ring,
Jessica
Cruz. It showed them, and it kind of set up this idea that there are going to be legacy characters that take over, and there are going to be new legacy characters, and like the way things have been in the New 52 might be slightly different for a lot of these characters. I really like that they are doing Wally West this way, the other Wally West this way.
Yeah, it's weird that they have two Wally West. That was clearly not something they planned on doing.
Yeah,
but it's fine. I'm going with it. As long as the pre-New 52 Wally West, the original Wally West, is also back, I'm good with that. Yeah, like I talked about how much I love legacy characters before. I think it's a good concept because then different generations have their different version of that character.
Yeah,
where like someone older than me, or Barry Allen as their Flash, where me it was like
Jay Garrick,
or someone who's really really old,
really fucking old.
But for me, it was like I grew up, in the 90s and early 2000s. That was Wally West. So I like that. Or kids now, they see like Miles Morales, like that's their Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. But one of my favorite things in the comic, which I'm pretty sure this is the case, I'm just guessing, but I think Aqualad is back. I don't know if he was back before that in the comics, because I haven't been reading Aquaman or anything, but I'm talking like Young Justice version of Aqualad. Do you remember when the kid's sitting there, like looking at the fish tank and his sister's talking to him or whatever?
Yeah.
That's Jackson Hyde. That's Calderon Aqualad.
Okay.
I think. I'm guessing because she said his name is Jackson, and he's sitting there looking at a fish tank talking about like his destiny or whatever. I'm like, it's got to be Aqualad.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too, but I was.
And I love that version of Aqualad. So I was, because he was an original creation of a Young Justice TV show. Then they brought him into the comics in the Brightest Day storyline, which was like right before the New 52 erased him completely. So
yeah.
I hope that's cool. I hope they end up bringing him back to, or that's what they're doing, because I think he was in that Legacy chapter as well.
Yeah, yeah, he was definitely in the Legacy chapter. I just wasn't sure if that's where they were going. If it was just kind of like a nod to the reader.
Yeah. So, I enjoyed it more than you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it would. For me, it's like an 8.
You weren't like, that's pretty high. That's like what I would give it.
Oh, see, but to me,
but your 8 is different than mine.
Yeah, I'm a very like optimistic person. It takes a lot for me to think something sucks to be like a 5 or worse.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was like I enjoyed it. It wasn't as everybody is giving it like 9.5s.
That's like
stuff.
A little crazy. I'd say
to me, yeah.
Let me say, if you're going to even give it an 8, I'll give it an 8.6.
Yeah, to me, it's like it's good. It was worth $2.99.
Yeah, for you it's good. For me, I thought it was real. I'm trying to think of my good scale. I'd say really good,
yeah.
Not like great. Really good. We'll see. I want to see where this goes for sure, and I think we'll have to keep reading this. And I think we should keep talking about the different issues as it comes out.
And like I said, I think
series,
this issue, the reason why it didn't sit as well with me was just it kind of just felt like it's like, yeah, I already know this. You know what I mean? Like, I know that you told me this in your press releases coming up that this was kind of how it was going to be.
We knew Wally was. Well,
we didn't know.
We didn't know. It got spoiled because of the spoilers that happened the week before. And then that new Wally costume, did you see it? Mm-hmm. Okay, I was going to pull up my phone if you hadn't seen it, but I didn't put it in a thumbnail. I put it because I wanted that, my name is Wally West, and I am the fastest man alive.
Yeah.
Because they do that on the Flash show. Mm-hmm. That was taken from when Wally West was the Flash in the comics, because that's how the comics used to start, with Wally West.
Yeah.
So.
No, I'm excited to read more.
Yeah, I think issue 2 might come out next week.
Yeah, they're doing a little like crazy.
They had this ready for a while, I think, is what it was.
Well, and like some of them are going to be twice monthly for when we get to like July when they start releasing
Action Comics, because I can't wait for Action Comics.
I think there's like 5 or 6 that are being released. They're stagnating them over like a couple months or whatever, staging over a couple months.
Kind of like,
and it's like
Marvel
every month there's like
Wars.
2 that are going to be twice monthly, and then there's a few that are going to be introduced that are monthly.
Do you think they're going to do something big for Action Comics number 1000?
I think they have to.
I hope so. I can't wait for that to come out. It's got to be. I forget what the new numbering is going to be when it comes out, but
I think for Action Comics and Detective Comics, they said they were going to the old numbering.
They are, yeah. I think the biggest thing about Rebirth that has me is me reading DC Comics again. That's what I'm most excited for.
Yeah, to me, the only thing that sucks is there's so many that I want to read.
That you're like, I honestly can't afford this. 'Cause I can't buy all these Marvel comics, I can't buy all these DC, and then all these indie ones at the same time.
See, I wish, and this was something, this is kind of going a little off topic, but using Comixology this week, and it's like they allow you to subscribe to series, but I wish there was like a little bit more loyalty or like reward for being loyal. Like if you subscribe to a series, you should get a slight percentage off by just being like, yeah, I'm going to subscribe to it, or like I'm going to subscribe for a year. I'll pay the price up front if that means I get, 25% off the whole series.
Yeah. I am glad that DC is, though, they're holding the line at $2.99 for other comics, where Marvel, they're all like $3.99, $4.99.
I was looking at, I think Captain America Steve Rogers was like $4.99. Yeah. And it was like 30 pages.
I didn't even buy it. I just read about it online because I was like, first of all, I'm not interested in reading a Captain America comic, really.
Yeah.
I like the movie universe Cap. I like comic Cap when he's in the Avengers.
He's a good ensemble character, yeah. It's like with Thor. I am not usually particularly interested in reading.
But he's fine when he's with other people. He's cool. That's my thing with a lot of the Avengers is they work better when they're all together, I think. All right, so that's a kind of a
good segue,
half-ass segue into Captain America, Steve Rogers, #1.
Yep.
Everyone's freaking out. You're seeing it in the thumbnail. You've already heard about it. The big reveal at the end of the issue, Captain America's been an agent of Hydra the whole time, apparently.
Yes. But there's like a few things. First off, the whole hero is secretly a villain thing is kind of a comic book trope that's been played out. Usually it gets reversed. It's not permanent. The other thing is that nothing in comics is permanent.
No.
So even if they were like, yeah, he's straight up a Hydra agent and has been forever, it's like 3 months from now they could be like, JK, because
he's a triple agent.
Yeah. Or, I was going to say, the other thing is they could also just be like, they're giving you misinformation. They're showing you like him being undercover as a Hydra agent when he's really not a Hydra, you know what I mean?
Triple agent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's tons of ways they could play this out. I think people are flipping out before they, you literally know nothing. This is the first issue in a series.
And the writer, Nick Spencer, he was receiving death threats over this. First of all,
just flipping
these
out.
people need to, we talked about this last week in our Nerd Rage episode. People need to chill out. First of all, it's just a story, and honestly, I don't think that's all it is. I saw the thing where it's, the Hail Hydra, and I was like, whatever. That was my response. Honestly, I was like, I don't care about this because it's not gonna really matter, and I think it's, no matter what story they have planned out, maybe it'll be good, but this right now is kind of a cheap trick,
Yeah.
to be like, oh, Captain America's been a, it's like, dude, come on, don't play this fucking game with us. We're not stupid.
But apparently a lot of people are.
Apparently.
I mean, because
I'm not stupid.
My
but
thought too was I saw that and I was like, okay, but he's not really. Like, he may be, or maybe pretending to be, but that's not going to be Captain America from this point forward forever.
No,
because
that'd be just stupid.
It would be a way to ruin.
It would
character.
ruin everything. Yeah. So people just need to just chill the fuck out.
But I do think this gives them an interesting place.
I'm interested to see where this story goes.
But this gives them, because they have two Captain Americas right now.
Yes.
Sam Wilson.
Yep.
And Steve Rogers.
Sam Wilson's been doing a really good job as Captain.
So this might give them an opportunity to explore Sam Wilson as true Captain America when we think Steve Rogers is the false or whatever you want to, like the double agent Captain America. And it may be revealed in time that he really wasn't ever part of Hydra, but he had to play the part. You know what I mean? Like we literally don't know.
On, yeah. He did kill that guy in the issue though.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. Marvel has it's because Marvel wants to do legacy characters, but they're also afraid of doing legacy characters at the same time. They've got 2 of every character right now. There's 2 Captain Americas, there's 2 Thors, there's 2 Spider-Mans.
Well, I think it's because people some people really love the legacy characters and some people hate it.
Some people are like, where's my Peter Parker?
Yeah, and it's like, dude,
I'm not even reading Amazing Spider-Man anymore. I'm only reading Spider-Man. But yeah, so whatever. I just wanted to say that because I thought about it. Popped in my head when you were talking about.
It's absolutely true.
Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers, yeah. It's true though.
Yeah,
and that would be that would be the best way to make Steve Rogers go away, or like to make people not want him as Captain America anymore, to make him secretly a Hydra agent the whole time. Then it's like Sam Wilson is the only Captain America.
Well, we'll see. Do you want to get into Apocalypse?
Yes.
When I was making the thumbnail, I didn't put anything about Apocalypse on it because I actually forgot that we'd even be doing a review.
Well, it was like it's Thursday night. I was like, oh yeah, Apocalypse comes out tomorrow. I was like, hey Ashley, do you want to go see it tomorrow? Because she had Friday off.
Oh, nice.
And she's like, sure. And I was like, okay, ticket or showtimes or this, and we just like went. The theater at the time we bought the tickets was mostly empty when we went. It wasn't packed, but it was Friday at 9 in the morning.
I went yesterday after 3:15. It was like empty.
That's funny because it is doing better currently than X-Men Days of Future Past did opening weekend.
Which is not even nearly as good as Days of Future Past. Not even close.
See, to me, I think people just have like rose-tinted glasses for that movie. I don't think that movie was as good as everybody thinks it was.
It was my favorite X-Men movie. I actually really enjoyed it. I saw it twice.
That's not saying a lot because
it's a pretty good like science fiction movie if you think about it. The time travel and stuff.
Yeah.
My friend who doesn't like superhero movies at all loved Days of Future Past.
See, to me,
and that made him excited to see Apocalypse, which he was really bummed about.
Yeah. But I didn't think it was
bad. Let me just preface my review by saying I didn't think it was dog shit. Like
I don't think it was nearly as bad as Batman v Superman.
I didn't even think it was really like all that bad, but it wasn't really good either.
Yeah, I thought it was one of those like meh. There was interesting parts. There was interesting characters.
I would probably give it an okay.
Yeah,
I would say it was okay. Yeah, it's. I liked some of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really saved the movie for me. Quicksilver was great. The Quicksilver scene was really cool too.
Yeah,
I saw it in 3D because my friend wanted to see it in 3D, and I hate 3D.
Yeah. So
the Quicksilver scene looked a little too CGI because of the 3D.
It still looked that way
in the 2D.
In 2D,
that's a lot of the movie.
One of my complaint, my biggest complaint with the movie was actually that the CGI looked real.
Let's get this review a little more organized. Let's do biggest complaints. You do yours first.
Biggest complaint: the CGI, the animation was horrible. It looked like
bad.
It looked like they took the CGI from like 2006 or something.
That would be
it was really bad.
Probably my biggest complaint.
To me, that doesn't like pull me out of the movie or make me like, oh, this movie's shit.
Right, the story has to be good. The story wasn't there enough for me to like cut the CGI slack. You know what I mean? I hated those fucking like tunnel shots where it was just all this like weird CGI and you're like zipping around through the tunnel. You know what I'm talking about? The intro when they're going through like the rubble and stuff.
Yeah, the intro was
so
terrible.
bad. It's like, what is this, 2002?
Yeah, the intro literally looks like they pulled it from like the original X-Men movie.
There were like 3 or 4 of those kind of shots where they're like zipping through like rubble or whatever, and I'm just like, what is this? This is so pointless, dumb. So yeah, that was the CGI stuff. Probably I've got another complaint, but it's more of a bigger thing than like. Sorry, I'll get to it later because I kind of want to save that for the end.
Okay.
Favorite part.
Shit. See, this is
for me. It's the characters.
Yeah, the characters, hands down, because there wasn't any part of the movie that I was blown away. Like, it was all kind of like, meh. We
didn't get great like character interactions. Some of their interactions didn't make a lot of sense. But the reason I would say characters is my favorite part is because we got the characters that we knew for the most part. There's some characters. Psylocke was totally one of. That's actually one of my complaints too. Is the Horsemen were all actually kind of pointless if you think about it. They were all there except for Magneto there just to be there, just to introduce the characters like Storm, Angel, Psylocke. They great characters that were totally like underused because they were only in it because they felt like they had to be introduced and be in it.
Yeah. Well, and they needed 4.
Right. It's like
because the only one that did anything was Magneto.
Exactly. That's
and I feel really bad for Olivia Munn because I'm sure she's going to get a lot of hate. I really don't think that was her. They didn't give her good lines. They didn't give her like,
anything to do.
I think she had maybe 5 lines in total.
No, I don't. They just didn't. I think the reason they put Psylocke in there to have Psylocke in there.
Well, because they may explore the character later.
That was my biggest.
That
was my biggest problem with the movie was they were putting stuff in there just to have it in there. Like Jubilee was like completely cut from the movie. There was a whole scene with them at the mall. When they went to the mall, that was completely cut. Apparently, they're releasing a Jubilee cut on DVD.
I fucking
like they did with the Rogue cut.
I hate that.
The dumb.
It's like just either leave the character in or don't.
I think having like this many characters in the movie would have worked better if we would have seen them before. Maybe this movie should have been built up to a little bit more.
And that's what I was gonna say. I feel like this Apocalypse storyline. And I felt the same way about Days of Future Past. It would have. Days of Future Past kind of worked because we had X-Men First Class to set it up.
Yeah.
But even then, it would have been more impactful and felt like a better movie if it was part of a story arc.
Because this
like a 3-part story arc.
Okay,
same with
that's
this.
the problem with Apocalypse is it doesn't build off of anything from the previous 2 movies.
It
doesn't. It's still standalone. The more I think about Apocalypse, the more I'm kind of like, yeah, that was actually kind of fucking dumb. The whole like. Okay, because we already said spoilers, so we're spoiling the shit out of it. The whole thing with them at Weapon X with Stryker and Wolverine didn't need to be in the movie at all. That was only there for a Wolverine cameo.
Here's what bothers me about people saying that, though, is if it had worked on screen, no one would be complaining about that. The only reason people are complaining that Wolverine was shoehorned in there is because it didn't really work. So, like...
Because it was shoehorned in there.
Yeah, but...
Well, I guess, okay, Spider-Man was shoehorned in,
I was
but
going to say,
worked.
This happens all the time in movies.
This was just shoehorned in there.
Sometimes works, and sometimes...
Because we have to have Wolverine, so it's... And then it's also kind of... If you remember at the end of Days of Future Past, when it shows Stryker pulling Wolverine out of the water, it's revealed that that's Mystique. That's not built upon at all in this movie.
Yeah, but she very clearly knows who Stryker... Like, I don't know. There's... room for them for interpretation, and I think a lot of people are just kind of turning a blind eye.
There's room for interpretation, but at the same time, we shouldn't have it should. That's the thing is, it doesn't build off of Days of Future Past at all.
Yeah, this is a time jump and not very much explanation. That's where I wish this would have been, even if it was just like a 2-part. But I really think this could have been a 3-part movie, not how it is now, but if it was expanded outwards, because. We don't really... There's a lot of stuff happening, but, like, not really anything that ties any of it together. Like, we have Apocalypse in the past, and, like, what's his motivation? Where does he get this technology? How did he get his powers? Like, all this stuff that we just kind of, like, oh, fuck that. They don't need to know. And it's like, well, it would have made everything better if we had a setup. We had the issue happening where fucking Apocalypse gets raised in the... present day, which is not the present day, I guess, whatever.
1983.
Yeah. And then if there was a second movie that built climax where he was going around collecting the 4 horsemen and it actually had a purpose, like that would have been a lot better than just the second act of the movie.
90 minutes collecting that's the thing too, is like, and my buddy I saw it the way he pointed out, like it's pretty slow. Like it doesn't hit those beats where something should happen within the first hour, because this is like nothing had happened yet.
Yeah.
So, but okay, whatever. We're getting off on a tangent. It's getting too deep. Do you have a favorite character from it? If you don't, I can go first if you want.
Yeah, you can go first.
Mine was Nightcrawler.
Okay.
I thought he was funny, and like I said, like we didn't get to build enough with the characters, but the characters we saw were pretty close to the comics. Like that was a good interpretation of Jean Grey. We actually got Cyclops. Nightcrawler was great. I loved him. And then my second favorite would probably be Quicksilver after Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Nightcrawler is one of my favorite X-Men. For me, my favorite X-Men are Colossus, Nightcrawler, Cyclops. So,
my favorite would probably be Jean Grey. Sophie Turner, I think, did a great job.
She was really good.
And was very believable in the final scene, or not the final scene, but like the final fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Releasing her power. And we get that little hint of the
fucking
Phoenix.
freaky.
Yeah,
You know,
because Jean Grey is like
Yeah.
one of the most powerful mutants ever.
And then the second would probably be Quicksilver. I think that was one of the the funniest parts of the movie, or that was probably
was
the
the
most
comic
enjoyable
relief.
part of the movie,
Yeah.
in terms of actual entertainment. Yeah.
I heard people complaining about Sophie Turner's accent as Jean Grey. And I'm like, to me,
There was a few lines I could definitely tell.
I couldn't. For me, as a Midwestern American, I was like, that sounds like a pretty good American accent to me. Because I think Ty Sheridan, he's not American either. I don't think. Maybe,
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
There was a few lines when she gets woken up from her nightmare. I can't remember exactly what she says, but she says
Oh
something.
no, he's American. My bad.
And you can definitely hear her accent a little bit. But to me, that's one of those things
Whatever.
that doesn't.
She did pretty good the
Yeah.
rest of it. Even Nightcrawler's German accent was fine. Alexandra Shipp's.
I thought that was kind of all over the place. But
It was
once again,
still better than Halle Berry's Storm
Yeah.
X, where she
Oh
just
my
dropped
God.
it completely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was cool that we got to see Storm as, actually in Cairo, as, a young, kind of like a thief, because that's how she started off in the comics. That's kind of cool. But, yeah, so it's... the thing I keep going back to is I didn't hate the movie. I thought it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
was
It
fine.
was it was entertaining enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people were going in with these expectations that I don't think X-Men has ever set up.
Yeah.
I really think if people went back and watched Days of Future Past again,
I don't know. Days of Future Past is really good.
I think it suffers from the same plot and story issues that this movie does, where it's bad guy wants to destroy the world in Days of Future Past. It's Sentinels.
No
Yeah,
bad guy wanted to
it-
destroy the world in Days of Future Past.
It was Sentinels. It was the same. It's the same thing.
It was that's okay. That's what I want to get to. That's my biggest point.
Yeah.
The stakes in Apocalypse were too high. That's okay.
But
So
this is where if it was a three movie series, it would have made
where this
total
was the
sense.
final conclusion. Yes,
but
but for this single movie,
No, it's too
the
much,
stakes
yeah.
were too high. Where the stakes were so high to a point where you're like, this doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. When he's tearing apart the world, you're like, well, this just doesn't matter. The stakes are too high for anything to feel real or believable. Days of Future Past, the stakes were kind of lower, but so it wasn't crazy like this. It wasn't we're literally ripping apart the world.
Robots ruling the world and killing. I think it was, and this is where I disagree with a lot of people. Is I think people have rose-tinted glasses for that movie. I really think all of the X-Men
would disagree.
movies.
I don't think
all of
so.
the X-Men movies have suffered from the same thing, where there's not really a story. It's just kind of we have all these characters, and we're gonna have this one thing that's trying to
But
ruin everything.
the thing in Days of Future Past was it was more personal, right? It was more about stopping their old friend from committing this big thing that's going to be really bad,
Yeah.
It was about,
I agree that the execution of that movie was dozens times better than
this was just
movie.
we got to stop this really bad guy from destroying the
I
world.
also think they kind of wasted Apocalypse.
They did. They
Although,
did.
They may not have wasted Archangel. I will put that out there.
What do you mean?
Angel sometimes takes over as is
Oh,
a stand-in
yeah.
for Apocalypse.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's what they're setting.
We'll see. Who knows?
But once again,
you can never tell
Yeah.
because they were setting things up in Days of Future Past that none of that was kept up on this one. But I wanted to get into that. I think that's a big problem with a lot of movies right now and a lot of just superhero anything. Except Marvel, because right now, because I think Marvel learned their lesson where Marvel's maybe the stakes don't always have to be it's the end of everything. But like Civil War, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. It was just going to be the end of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Where because Marvel's already like learned that okay, we gotta tone it down a little bit, but everything else is kind of like the big climax is the end of everything, the end of the world, apocalypse. They're tearing apart the world, everything. The Flash season finale, which I know you don't watch those anymore, but it was like the end of the multiverse. Like we have like the stakes were too high to matter. Arrow season finale, which was really bad. It was going to be the end of the world too, where they had 15,000 nukes in Arrow that were apparently all launched. It's fucking awful. That's the thing, though, is the stakes were just too high in all these things. Even Batman v Superman, you know, you got Doomsday or whatever the hell is going on in that movie. I don't even know. The stakes are just too high for anything to matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a big problem with a lot of these properties right now that's why Deadpool worked really well. The stakes were really grounded. Civil War worked, the stakes were high, but it wasn't the entire world universe, whatever is going to be destroyed. It's just the Avengers. Like, that's the Apocalypse was just crazy. The Flash series season finale was crazy. Arrow was just crazy. The stakes were too high for anything to matter.
Yeah. And I agree with you on that, but I do think all of the X-Men movies, maybe aside from like First Class and like the Wolverine ones, have also suffered from that, where it's like or they make it seem that way. Magneto's gonna destroy the world by making everybody mutants, or
maybe it just worked better in those movies than it did in this one.
Yeah,
maybe because I don't know, it just worked better. Maybe it's because I was talking to my friend. I said, if you're gonna have the stakes be that high, we're to the point where they don't matter. You have to make these characters matter more, and I think that's what it was. I
definitely think
in Days of Future Past it was more character focused, where this one it was just all like craziness. We didn't get enough of those like character moments for us to be like, okay, the stakes may be super crazy high, but at least these characters we care about. But this it was just kind of a mess.
We got a lot of characters, but we didn't get very much like interaction. Where
we got to see
in Days of Future Past, you get like Mystique literally with Magneto and like all this stuff. And in this, there was really only like 2 times besides when Apocalypse is interfacing with the Horsemen where like people are actually trying to talk. And
I think it's because they had too many characters and they didn't know how to balance them all really well. But I thought it was okay. It wasn't dog shit though. It wasn't BVS bad.
And that's why I reacted the way I did when I texted you. I was like, I don't know what people are talking about. It was nowhere near as bad as Batman v Superman. No. And there's a lot of critics that are giving it worse scores than they gave Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
And it's like, I literally don't understand. This was an okay movie. Like a
X-Men movies haven't really been good. It was fine.
Or like a 7. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a very pulpy, if you want to turn off your brain and watch something for 2 hours, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
But if you want like deep story, I mean, yeah, you're right. It's not their story.
We got the characters from the comic, but we didn't get enough of them interacting. Like they got the traits of those characters there, but we didn't get enough of them together for us to like bond with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just felt the whole movie felt disconnected.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it, I think.
And you know, there's a ton of reasons that it could be. You never know. Like the script may have been entirely different, but like budget constraints, time constraints. It could be like people higher up just being like, no, that doesn't sound like a good idea. That doesn't work. Or like, we need to cut and focus on these specific things. Like you never know. Well, people are saying like Bryan Singer ruined X-Men and all this stuff, and it's like,
you guys were just praising him for fixing X-Men with Days of Future Past. So
I really did like the nod when they're like,
the third one's always the worst.
It's like, Jesus.
You know what's funny is though? This is the third one and the new one. It's the worst of the new ones.
Yeah.
But so it'll be interesting to see where X-Men goes from here. I've always been kind of like on the fence with the X-Men movies.
I'm totally excited for New Mutants.
I am excited for New Mutants. More Deadpool and Cable.
I'm very excited.
I would have liked if they would have had
3.
Would have liked if they had Cable in this movie.
Less crazy. Could have been an interesting way.
Because Cable comes from the future where Apocalypse rules.
Yeah,
that's his thing. So And actually, in the origin of Apocalypse, Cable's fights Apocalypse. He tries to kill him in the past because he's a time traveler. But that might have been too crazy. Or like if like instead of like those were like subjects that put him into the slumber, or whatever. If that was Cable, because then we get to set up Cable for Deadpool, but that might get too complicated. I don't know. I just want to see Cable. But anyway, overall for me, I'd say it was okay. Maybe the thing with the number scale is I don't want people to think like a 6 is like a failing grade.
Because to me, it's like a 6 or a 7 is still like I would recommend it.
Go see it if you really want. Yeah, it's not bad.
If you're not totally opposed to, like, if you hated superhero movies or you hated all of the X-Men movies before, then no, don't see it. If you like Days of Future Past, you'll find some enjoyment in this
If you
movie.
hate superhero movies, first of all, you're listening probably to the wrong podcast. I would give it a 6.5.
Yeah, and that's why I was like a 6 to a 7. I mean, depending on your mindset going in, you might like it slightly better. You might like it slightly
I did
less.
like the costumes at the end, though. We actually got, like, Cyclops from the like, Jean Grey's costume. That's Jean Grey from the X-Men cartoon. Like, Nightcrawler with, the, like, shoulder pads and stuff. Like, oh, that was so cool.
I'm excited for what they do next because I like the actors that they're setting up for...
and Jennifer Lawrence is going to be done. So we don't have to have this weird Mystique
I totally think she's fine as Mystique.
She's fine as Mystique, but like that's not. I'm sick of this Mystique being with the X-Men thing because it's not.
Yeah,
her. She
should return to Magneto's side, but
she won't because of this. I don't know. It's a mess. But anyway, I think that's it for that. I did say I was gonna bring back a thing. I think we did this once a couple weeks ago, but Scott's Music Minute. We're talking about music for a little bit, for a second. So I don't know if you've heard this story. You're a music guy. You know you're the industry and everything. But have you heard about Car Seat Headrest's new album?
No.
First of all, really good. I definitely recommend you go check it out. You might like it too. There was a controversy that happened. So they have this song on the record called Just What I Needed / Not Just What I Needed, right? And the original version had a sample of Just What I Needed by the Cars. Mm-hmm. The agency or whatever they were going through to clear the rights to use that sample was apparently not authorized to be able to do that for them.
Oh, okay.
And as you're a music business guy, you probably... Yeah. So, and then they went to the front man or the guy who wrote the song in the Cars, and he said no, he didn't want them to use a sample. Thing is, though, they had a ton of records already printed. Because they figured that it would go through the agency or whatever, it'd be fine, the sample would be cleared, everything would be good. And basically they got fucked. And it ended up costing them $50,000 because they had to destroy all of these records.
That's
because they had a ton of pre-orders and everything ready to go.
That's fucking rough.
So I want to know what you thought about that.
I would be pissed if I was them.
No, they are pissed.
But I also, knowing the way the music industry is and knowing how sampling works, I would not have printed anything until you had it like you literally had the thing in front of you that's from the fucking rights holder.
Yeah, they must have just figured everything would be fine. And I mean, it kind of sucks though because the whole song was supposed to be like an homage to the Cars, and then the guy who wrote the song said they didn't want them to use it. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. They're clearly like praising you.
Yeah, and the thing about sampling is you are paying them,
right? So you don't want that money for no work.
Yeah, or like the publicity that comes from it from a lot of younger people.
Maybe people will hear that sample and be like, "Oh, I want to check out the original version." Because that like I have listened to like Girl Talk and stuff. I love those mashups; they're kind of fun. And then I'll hear like a part in like a mashup or something like a sample, and I go, "Damn, that's really cool! I want to check out the original version of that song."
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's kind of. I mean, it's his music. He can do whatever he wants, but I think it's kind of a dick move.
It's a very closed-minded way, and I think there's a lot of older musicians that are that way, where it's like, this is my music, I'm going to do with it what I want. But it's like,
real artisanship, wouldn't it be like to be like, hear what other people do with what you've done?
Yeah, totally. Like, if somebody came to me and was like, can I use part of your song? And it's like, as long as you're not like a Nazi propagandist or something, like fucking go ahead, go nuts.
And they're paying you to do it. So it's like, And when I read the whole story on AV Club, I was just like, this is just fucking like crazy. This happened. So like the headline or whatever in the article is like how nice like homage turned into a $50,000 mistake.
Yeah.
So I'd love to hear the original version because they had to go in and rework the song. They did it all in like 48 hours. Yeah. Because they had pre-orders and then they had digital stuff art like going up and everything. And so I'd love to hear like the original version of the song. The song is still good. Yeah. The whole album is good. I recommend anyone check it out. Car Seat Headrest. I think it's Teenage Denial. It's really, really good. But yeah, I just thought that was crazy and I wanted to share that bit of news with you.
Oh man, I can't even imagine like so being like, them in that situation where you're like, it's like we're fucked.
Right. And the guys in the band too, they're like a high profile. Like this is apparently Car Seat Headrest's 13th album.
Yeah.
And the lead singer for Car Seat Headrest is Julian Casablancas of The Strokes.
Okay.
So it's like people know who these guys are.
Yeah.
They're not some like underground indie rock. I mean, they're an indie rock band, but they're not some like underground. Like we've only recorded an album and 3 EPs in our garage, you know. So I thought that'd be interesting, especially since you know the music industry. So that was Scott's Music Minute, a little thing I might bring back once in a while when I see music stories that I really like. So
there's interesting ones all the time.
Yeah, and that's pop culture. So all right, I think that's it for today. I told you it was going to be a good episode. I think it was a pretty good episode. Mm-hmm. We talked a lot. Who knows if we said anything, but we talked a lot.
We said stuff.
Some stuff. We
put words.
We've got good words. We've got the best words.
Yeah. The only words, some would say.
All right. Anyway, you can find me everywhere at Scotty Bouy, SCOTTYBWO, 4 Ys. That's Twitter, Instagram, and even Tumblr if you want to see me reblog a bunch of vaporwave art because I think it's so fucking stupid, but I love it at the same time.
Oh Lord.
Matt's just like, well, this is a real strain on our friendship. I can hear it in your voice.
Jesus.
It's so stupid, but I like it. It is. You know what I'm talking about. It's so dumb, but it's like dumb. Sometimes it's funny. Anyway, Matt.
You can find me everywhere at Hagnerd, HAGNERD.
You can't even hold it together.
No. That's Twitter, Instagram, all the places. You can follow us on Twitter at Fuzzy Loaf. You can subscribe to us on iTunes if you're listening to this on YouTube by searching Fuzzy Loaf. And if you're listening on iTunes, you can find us on YouTube by searching Fuzzy Loaf.
Did you do that right?
I did that right.
Okay, I wasn't paying
attention. I just said it very strangely.
All right, whatever.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate us.
Yep.
Review us.
We're gonna have some. Like we said, we're still gonna have some new stuff in the future.
Yep.
A few weeks, probably soon. We'll see. We're busy. We have to sit down, but it is coming. Damn it!
Winter is coming.
It's not gonna be that long.
No, it's a Game of Thrones.
I know, okay. But I'm saying we don't have. It's not going to be like until winter. It'll be much sooner. Anyway, that's it for us. Smell you later.